Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Bridge Live. My name is Rahul Kargal, and today is a very special day because today is the first ever match of the very first ever edition of the Kho Kho World Cup. And joining me live now to talk about the Kho Kho World Cup, I've got two of my colleagues with me. Welcome to the broadcast, Abhijit Nair and Pritish Raj.
Thank you,
Uh,
Rahul. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul.
Yes, first ever edition of the Kho Kho World Cup. This is a sport that all of us Indians at some point of time played back in junior school, high school, and some of us did in college as well. And the Kho Kho World Cup is being held in New Delhi. Today is the very first match. Uh, Pritish, you've been at some of the press conferences. What is the buzz like about the Kho Kho World Cup?
Yeah, surprisingly, it has been buzzing because they have actually did a lot of promotions and everything. And today, I think the opening ceremony is starting in probably at 7 p.m. It starts. So yeah, there has been quite sizable amount of buzz around Coco World Cup, and it looks like with so many teams coming, it looks like that it's going to be a good addition.
Yes, and I must mention all of our viewers that there are a fair amount of international teams participating at the Kho Kho World Cup. Abhijit, you've been tracking the progress. You want to take us through this? I understand that there are over 25 countries where Kho Kho is played at the moment, but we understand that 23 countries are participating at this inaugural edition. Abhijit?
Yeah, I mean, even 23 is quite a big number when you look at it, when it's just the first edition of the sport, right? And the International Federation and the Kho Federation of India, they've done a great job in pulling this off, I believe, to bring in so many nations, and a lot of them that you won't even associate with Kho. Kho is usually associated with just the Asian subcontinent, the Indian subcontinent, and to see that there are teams like Ghana, Argentina, Kenya, Uganda playing Kho, it's just very interesting. And also the fact that a lot of these teams have their natives playing and not just the Indian origin players. That's going to be something very exciting. I think it's just only a couple of countries like England and New Zealand in the women's section who have a lot of Indian origin players. Other than that, it's all just citizens of the country, the natives. So yeah, very excited to see how this shapes up because I did not really expect to see a Kho Kho World Cup happening so soon, and to and the excitement, as Pritesh said, it has been very buzzing. At least in the online space, they've got people like Sachin Tendulkar and Rinku Singh, and I don't know, all these big cricketers and big players from other sports coming up and sharing videos, promoting the event. So yeah, quite a lot of work has gone behind it, and it will be very interesting to see how this pans out over the course of the next 1 week.
Yes, and over the next few minutes, for the benefit of the viewers, we will take you through all the teams that will be in the fray, and we'll also talk briefly about the Indian teams, the captains in particular, and talk a bit about the rules of the sport as well. What you're looking at on your screens right now are all the teams that are in the fray. The men's tournament will feature four groups A, B, C, and D. India is in Group A, paired with Nepal, Peru, Brazil, and Bhutan, South Africa, Ghana, Argentina, Netherlands, and Iran. A lot of these teams that we associate with football will be playing Kho Kho. Group C, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Korea. Remember, they play hockey pretty well and kabaddi pretty well as well. They'll be playing Kho Kho. United States of America, right? And I kid you not, there are no Indians in that team. They're all playing cricket for the US, of course. There are a lot of Native Americans playing Kho Kho for the US men's national team. Group D contains England, Germany, Malaysia, Australia, and Kenya. Pritish, from all of your observations so far, these a lot of these teams contain Native Americans, right? No, native players, not Americans, the native players.
Yeah, so exactly what Abhijit mentioned. So that is the most surprising and the most interesting bit, that all of these teams have a lot of natives playing from them. It's not the South Asian diaspora as I was expecting, to be very honest. I thought it will be same as Kabaddi, that a lot of Singhs and a lot of Khans you will see in the team. But that's not the case here. And I was talking to a couple of them, so it's very interesting. One of them is a scientist, one of them is a finance guy, and they have, like, for example, the squad from Ghana. They have they thought is because, like, it's very interesting because for them it's like chase tag. Like, chase tag is something which we all have played in our whole lifetime, and it's across the, for kids it's common across the world. Some in India we have pakadam pakadai. In every other world English spoken country, it is like English speaking country, it's like chase tag. So now that's just a bit of refined version, or you could say a variation of chase tag for them. So that's how a few of them got started into it, and a few of them got started because they saw this, the speed was there, thrill was there, so they got involved into that. So it's pretty interesting, as you can see Poland's squad. So Poland squad these are all native Polish guys, not Indians, not at all Indians. So in Brazil, like, I know, a Danton Oliveira, that sounds like a footballer. Okay, it doesn't sound like a Kho Kho player, but he's here playing Kho Kho. So that is the, like, most exciting bit for me, and I think that is one thing that is going to stand out here. That all of these are native from their countries, and how they took up this sport is going to be a very exciting story.
Yes, and we will, of course, have reporters at the venue, and bring the bridge will bring you more insights on some of these native players, not playing football or something else, but let it all sink in. They will be playing Kho Kho, a sport that all of us played way back when we were in high school. Now, the women's section has four groups as well. India placed in Group A alongside Iran, Malaysia, Republic of Korea again, and England, Australia, Kenya, Uganda, and the Netherlands in Group B. Group C, of course, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Germany, and Bangladesh. Group D, South Africa, New Zealand, Poland, Peru, and Indonesia. Is there something that we know at this point of time, Abhijit, about the women's competition?
Mm, I mean, not really, apart from the squads that we have seen. So again, as we have mentioned that last two times before as well. It's just a couple of countries here, that is England and New Zealand, in whose squad I can see a lot of Indian origin players. Other than that, it's just the native guys. And when you look at it that way, also, I've been reading a couple of the stories here and there, and there are quite a lot of players who have, just recently taken to hockey. And by recent, I mean a few months back as well. The New Zealand captain, for example, is a 40-year-old lady, and she started playing in 2018 or 2019 or something. And she's here leading the team. I think, her surname is Miss Sidhu. That way, it's very exciting. And when you talk about competition as such, I don't think uh, there will be a lot of competition per se, because see, these guys are here playing at this level for the first time. So when you compare them to, say, a team like India, where Kho Kho is known to be is predominantly played more comparatively to these other countries. So I mean, that way, when you look at it, I believe it will be a very, it can be a very lopsided contest, a lopsided tournament, but it will be very interesting to see how these teams shape up over the next 1 week.
All right, let's jump to the Indian squads now, right? You're looking at images of the Indian captains on your screens at the moment. The Indian men's team is led by Pratik Vaikar, and there's an interesting story behind that. And Pratish, you can add more. I understand that Pratik here, who will be leading the men's squad, holds degrees in computer science and finance, and
Yeah.
Coco actually helped him obtain a sports quota job. What else can you tell us about Pratik, Pratish?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a fantastic player. I've followed him in the Ultimate Kho Kho, and he has a good enough leadership experience. Like he led the Maharashtra to become the national champion, and he was with Telugu Yodhas in Ultimate Kho Kho, and he led the team to final. They couldn't win that trophy, obviously, but they finished as runner-ups. So which means that like definitely has a leadership pedigree, and as I mentioned, it's a very interesting story that a computer science graduate getting a job through sports quota, and then leading the team to the first ever Kho Kho World Cup, the national team. I think quite a huge moment for him today also.
Sure, yes. And the lady that you're looking at on your screens, she is Priyanka Ingle. And Abhijit, you can add more value here, right? I understand that she's the mainstay of the Indian squad, and she's been representing India, I understand, for almost a decade and a half, 15 years of an international career. And she's, I understand, played over 23. She's competed in 23 national competitions, right? So she's one of the biggest names in Indian Kho at the moment, Abhijit.
Yeah, Priyanka, she has been around for a long time. She's one of the top names when you look at it. Even while you must just be scrolling this random reels on social media, and reels of
Yeah.
Priyanka playing pop up quite often. So she is definitely 100% the most important player in the team. And along with that, the one other name which stands out for me is Nirmala Bhati. She has also been around for quite some time, and she's represented India and won quite a lot of medals for India uh, previously. So these two guys, I believe, will form the core of the team, and they will be expected to perform a lot better.
Yes, and let's talk a bit about the rules of the game, right? Now, no Indian needs an introduction to Kho Kho. We've all played it, but just talk a little bit about what we know about the sport in an organized fashion, right? Two teams obviously will take on each other in a game. Traditionally, a team is made up of 12 players, but only nine are on the field. And every time a chasing team tags a defender, they go ahead and earn a point. And I understand, Pratish, that the game will be played across a few innings. What else can you tell us about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you mentioned is right, that it has like like it is 2 turns of 9 minutes, and teams they alternate between chasing and defending. So one team is chasing, the other one is defending, and then that's how they switch. Pretty much like Test cricket, if I would say 4 innings Test cricket. So that's the reference here. Okay, so one time you're batting, one time you're bowling, and like simple. It's pretty simple that the highest point at the end wins, and if there is a tie, then there is an additional innings played. You can term it super over, if I would say. So that's pretty much, it's a very simple game, nothing very complicated, nothing much to understand. It's very simple game. You go ahead, you touch the defender, you touch the guy, you get a point. Like very very simple, pretty simple game out there. And so yeah, that's about it. It's a simple game, and good thing is that all these games will be broadcasted also. They'll be live on Disney Plus Hotstar. So if any one of you who don't know where to watch it, you can go there and watch it.
Right, and the games will be broadcast on Disney Hotstar and the Star Network. I understand that the Doordarshan network is broadcasting it as well. Also, it's a very cricket-like innings format, and I understand, Abhijit, that if there is a deficit of 6 points, a team can actually enforce a follow-on. Just check me on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So if there's a deficit of six, the team can actually choose to either continue with the cycle of innings or they can enforce a follow on. So a lot of cricket fans will be able to relate to it. But what you're looking at on your screen is the match day graphic. India will take on Nepal later tonight for game one of the Kho Kho World Cup. I almost have to say this time and time again to pinch myself to believe that this is happening. The Kho Kho World Cup. Unfortunately, Abhijit, Pakistan, who was slated to play the first ever match of the first ever World Cup will not be here. That would have been a blockbuster opener, isn't it, Abhijit?
100%. But it is well known, right? These visa issues between India and Pakistan, they keep happening time and again, and it's just not just Kho Kho. It has happened across sport, and it has the frequency with which this has been happening has only increased over the last few years. So, I mean, hard luck for the Pakistan team. It would have been amazing to see them play, and India Pakistan first match would have been just the curtain raiser the World Cup needed. But unfortunately, that's not happening. We'll have to watch India versus Nepal. Hopefully, Nepal puts up a very good fight.
Right, yes, and again, a reminder to all of our viewers the Kho Kho World Cup kickstarts tonight at New Delhi. 23 countries are participating, 20 men's teams and 19 women's teams. Our correspondents will be at the venue. Pritish, final word from you, and I'll come back to you, Abhijit, as well. If you were to pick a winner, who would you pick for the Kho Kho World Cup?
Going to be India. Like, I mean, if they're not, that will be a surprise for me. That will be a upset or a shock or whatever you can call it. But yeah, I'm looking for India to win because the ultimate Kho has certainly given them a better platform also to to compete at the highest level, and there have been quite a bit of youngsters also coming by the ranks. So I'm really excited to see how the Indian team does, and especially as you said, like more excited to see the teams like Ghana and Germany, how they turn up and what do they put. Abhijit mentioned that it might be a lopsided contest, and I also believe the same that it might be, but you never know what's there in the store.
Abhijit, what are you looking forward to see at this inaugural Kho Kho World Cup?
I mean, just how these spectators or the audience will take to it, because this has never happened before. So it would be I would be very eager to see, what the viewership numbers are, or uh, is the arena filled with spectators. That would be something I would be very interested in, because Kho Kho has been a very rural sport ingrained in the heart of India. All of us have played it growing up, right?
Yeah.
But no one really ever thought that there could be a Kho Kho World Cup happening in India. So yeah, it's very exciting that way, and so I'm just focused on that part, and also the thing that we have been speaking of time and again, how the teams with natives in them, they perform, and they kind of put up a fight. That would be very interesting to see.
That's right. Yes, I for one am really keen on watching the overseas players and how they perform. I want to see how the Americans and the Brazilians, throw themselves on the mat and execute points. It'll be quite a sight watching the Kho Kho World Cup. And I just wanted to let all the viewers know that the bridge will be at the venue in New Delhi, bringing you live updates as the tournament pans out. This is the inaugural edition of the Kho Kho World Cup, and you can catch all the updates pertaining to the World Cup, of course, on the bridge.in and across our social media handles. Pritish Raj and Abhijit, thank you very much for joining us live on this program and sharing with all our viewers more details about the Kho Kho World Cup. My name is Rahul Kargal. Thanks everybody for joining. The news continues on the bridge.in. See you soon. Thanks everybody. Goodbye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
thank you, Rahul.